He also cited potentially using the Lakers' 2027 and 2029 first-round picks as leverage to make a trade to help the team win immediately. But this was something that Rob Pelinka was initially against, cause he preferred to remain patient. Eventually, the meeting ended very nicely, with both sides agreeing on the direction they wanted to go.
That's always the LeBron strategy, by the way, and Kevin Durant too, if he gets his way, but mainly LeBron. Sacrifice your future for a win-now team, and then he leaves. All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. Hope y'all having a good day so far. I'm having a great day. The weather is beautiful out here in the desert today. I mean, it's really a nice and cool 111 degrees. Ah! Shit. It's so freaking hot, you guys. I don't even know what to say about it. It is disgusting out there. I feel mercy for my air conditioning trying to keep this place like. Yeah, guys, stay out of Arizona in the summers. That's all I'm going to say. Wintertime, it's beautiful here. Stay the hell away in the summer because, man, none of us want to deal with this crap in the summer. 111. You think I'm exaggerating? I am not joking. The only advantage we have is that it's a dry heat. Anyways, we're here to do a basketball reaction. Get in the comments. Let me know how your weather is down there. I'm curious. I want to live vicariously through you guys. So let me know how much better it is where you're living. Anyways, guys, this is a video from Andy Hoops, and this one is titled "Everything That Went Wrong During the LeBron Era in LA." This was sent to me to react to by you guys and the members. So let's do it. I'm pretty sure I'm going to share the same sentiment as far as what the title is. Yeah, I think we all feel this way. Let's get right into it, and let's talk about it as we go, guys. Like the video if you could. Hype the video if you could. That's even better. I'd appreciate it. And, yeah, link to the original videos down below in the description. And big-time shout-out to channel members. I appreciate you guys. Let's keep this going, man. Oh, and shout-out to you guys. I appreciate every one of you guys who checked out the music channel. Link is down below in the description as well. I appreciate you guys supporting that first video. Lots of cool stuff coming.
And that's it. It's over. This historic 2020 NBA championship belongs to the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers conquer the bubble.
The Mickey Mouse ring, La Mickey, the bubble champions, whatever you want to call it. The fact is, the 2020 Los Angeles Lakers had one of the most dominant playoff runs ever, losing just 3 games before reaching the finals with a very well-constructed roster that included a plethora of three-point shooting, feisty defenders, a deep bench, and a strong rotation that included old aging veterans who used whatever was left in the tank to have one final spectacular playoff run.
Up ahead, beautiful touch and Dwight Howard, a 13-1 Laker run.
It was the most complete roster of the LeBron era in Los Angeles, and the only roster that didn't have any glaring problems like the ones that followed. And what followed was 6 years of failed attempts to recapture that glory, 6 years of failed trades, injuries, and crippling holes in their roster every year that they could never fix.
Oh boy, that did not look good. Anthony Davis.
Let's take a detailed look year by year at everything that went wrong following their 2020 championship.
All right, this should be fun. This should be fun because it was a hell of a ride of disappointment.
As the LeBron James era concluded with just 1 ring in 8 seasons.
And the crazy thing is he got there within, 3 years of being a Laker? He got that championship in the bubble. And then after that, it's just like decline. And he has the nerve to ask for the max. Defending the title. Yeah, defend the title by blowing up the team.
In a season where the Lakers looked to repeat and defend their title, there were several major changes. For one, their team lost a handful of veterans that played a major role in their previous championship, which included Danny Green, Rajon Rondo, and Dwight Howard. But most importantly, LeBron and Anthony Davis were injured for a significant chunk of the year.
Didn't they get rid of Caruso here too? Or did they keep him for 1 more year? I think they canned him.
They got injured in different parts of the season too, so they played only 27 games together. And it resulted in a very early playoff exit in the first round, as their team slipped down the standings. The thing is, this was seen as a transitional period for the Lakers, and they looked to make a big splash in the 2021 offseason. Perhaps they didn't need to do that, though.
We beat them mainly because Anthony Davis injured his hamstring, I remember.
Maybe they could have just tried to stay healthy and run it back, because in the games Davis and LeBron appeared in, they had a net rating of plus 11 on the court at the same time.
Yeah, they should have. They had the team. All they had to do was try again, and maybe you'll win. Like, that's it. Health was a big factor. I hate to say it as a Suns fan, but I do believe if AD was healthy, which is a very rare thing, but if he was healthy in the playoffs, I think they would have beat the Suns. They were looking good, man. The team defense was phenomenal with this lineup.
One of the best of any duos in the league. It was health that was the biggest obstacle, not the actual roster itself. Yeah. The Lakers could have very well kept the same team intact and try again.
Should've.
But as you know, that's not how the Lakers operate.
Not really how the Lakers operate, how LeBron operates. You could ask Magic Johnson about that as he's about to quit his job because he wasn't allowed to do his job. He had ideas of making small changes, small additions, while LeBron and I'm hearing AD as well, but at least LeBron wanted to go for the big one, and that was Russell Westbrook. And in order to afford him, you need to move a lot of pieces. So he got what he wanted. That's not what Magic wanted. That's why Magic quit.
When they see a chance to make a big splash in the offseason, oh, you know they will. Throughout the Lakers' storied history, there is one formula that almost never failed when the franchise has encountered hard times. Recruit another superstar.
Yeah.
For a team that already boasted LeBron James and Anthony Davis, this was the clearest path to recovery after their title defense in 2020-21 fell woefully short.
Which makes no sense according to basketball history. You've got two megastars, okay? Two megastars on your team, one big, one smaller, one perimeter, one post. All you need is role players, and that's exactly why they won that first championship, because that was a solid team built around two stars. A bunch of role players, they all did phenomenal in their role, and that's all you need to win. Why get rid of the quality role players when you already have that big two intact to get a third big dog in? It makes no sense to me, honestly. Back in the day, in the 80s and 90s, having one star was enough to build around. I mean, Michael Jordan is a prime example. Hakeem Olajuwon is another prime example. Patrick Ewing, all this stuff. Why do you need three now?
So in an offseason where the Lakers really didn't need to make any drastic changes, it was surrounded by rumors of a potential acquisition that dominated the headlines. Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
LeBron, AD, and the Lakers brass met with him several times, hung out, had dinner with him several times in a massive recruitment effort that made even the Kawhi Leonard recruitment seem mild years before this.
Yeah, but now Russ hates LeBron's guts.
However, unlike most other situations, this time, even the Lakers fan base felt kinda concerned about this.
Westbrook, shot clock winding down, lines it
Yeah,
up.
it's not his game.
For one, Westbrook, we all knew he was great in his prime, but he was well past his prime. He had a great year with the Wizards and averaged yet another triple-double. He had such an incredibly high usage rate and was basically a glorified floor raiser. Not a player you can just insert into a team and immediately expect them to be a contender.
Well, it's complicated. I never thought it was the right move, but he would have done a lot better, and the team would have done a lot better if you let the point guard play point guard. And that's what Russ is. How is he the guy averaging triple doubles? Because he's a point guard. Just like Oscar Robinson was. Like, it's the same idea here. But then he wasn't allowed to play point guard. All he was allowed to do is shoot from here and shoot from here mainly. These two sidelines, these two baselines. That's all he got to do. Stand there and shoot. It was terrible. Terrible. Why? So LeBron could play point.
The chemistry and fit was super important.
So the power forward can play point.
And Westbrook just wasn't it. The days of him being a tier 1 superstar were over, and on a team that basically dumped a decent amount of depth to get him, most importantly, the departure of Kentavious Caldwell-Pope severely hurt them. Their best three-point shooter and a phenomenal perimeter defender. They also lost Alex Caruso in the same summer.
Okay, so it was this one, okay.
That's two of their best defenders, who constantly hounded and harassed their opponents on the perimeter.
Which, if you guys have watched any OKC stuff, I'm not an OKC fan, however, Caruso is a monster, dude. He's one of those he's literally the exact type of role player I was talking about earlier in the video. You need guys like him to win. And you had him, but then you let him go. And guess what? You won a championship with somebody else.
So it's no surprise their defense dropped off drastically after losing these two. The 2021-22 season spawned plenty of other problems outside of Westbrook, but he became the most visibly frustrating player the fans have witnessed in a long time. In a single season with a single team...
Magic wanted to add in DeMar DeRozan, and that was it, you know? Small, basically, you've got the perimeter, you've got the paint, and then he was going to be your mid-range guy. That was the vision, and I like it. And you wouldn't have had to trade your whole future in order to get him in LA.
Westbrook's reputation went down the gutter.
What I'm disappointed with Westbrook is
Ouch.
I thought he was going to come with all this energy. We haven't seen a lot of that.
Ouch. Ouch. I never heard him say that. Damn. It really caught on.
I mean, you know it's bad when you even see your kids get called Westbrook by their friends.
And my family has reached a point to where it's really weighing on them.
The root of their struggles stemmed from Frank Vogel's inability to integrate him into the offense. In the previous year, Davis missed half the season, but the Lakers were still the #1 ranked defense in the league. Yet immediately following the Westbrook trade, they dropped to 21st in the league.
Wow.
Over the summer, they also added Malik Monk to the backcourt and a 37-year-old Carmelo Anthony. He also played significant minutes.
Honestly, the Melo thing should have worked out. He didn't get to play very often. I don't know. If I just heard him say he was playing significant minutes, I saw otherwise. But now he's the guy you want to be in these two baselines. Because if you ever saw him play in any of the Olympics, what made him one of the greatest USA basketball Olympian of all time is because he knew his role. He didn't have to be the man. He didn't care to be the man. His job was to knock down threes in a baseline, and he did it probably better than anybody I've ever seen in USA basketball history, like as far as Olympic stuff and FIBA goes. It was a beautiful thing. So that's all I thought. Okay, bring him in. He's old. He's one of the best stand-up shooters you could ask for right now, and he's not making a lot of money. Like, this is a great deal for the Lakers, but it didn't seem to work out that way.
They added a bunch of negative defenders into their rotation. When you combine that with an offense led by a past his prime Westbrook, it was an ugly season where they finished bottom 10 in both offense and defense. The funny thing is, Westbrook was actually the only player in their starting lineup who remained healthy for almost the entire season, appearing in 78 games, to the dismay of Lakers fans. I'm sure they'd rather him sit on the bench. The injury problems to both LeBron and Davis persisted, especially
his
Davis.
Shot was really broken. His confidence was shattered. I'm not the biggest Russ fan, but I'm not like a Russ hater. I was really happy when he got to get the hell out of LA, and immediately you can see him start producing again. You know, I was really, really happy. I think he went to the Clippers first, but he really started blossoming again in Denver. But even with the Clippers, like, it was night and day. Night and day. Something terrible was going on in that Lakers team. And I felt bad for the guy, man.
Where it seemed like every time he fell, the crowd was worried he'd be out for another game. There's a reason the nickname Anthony Day to Davis stuck around for so long, ever since his days in New Orleans. Cause he'd get injured in the most random ways, like his entire body was made of glass. If we're being honest, even if Bron and AD weren't injured, this was a lost season. There were too many problems that spawned from the Westbrook trade, and other poor additions to the team that provided little value. The 2022 offseason marked a turning point for the franchise. After a season where the Lakers shockingly missed the playoffs in the worst season during the whole LeBron era, the team reached a crossroads and had a major decision to make. It started with a meeting between LeBron James, his agent Rich Paul, Jeannie Buss, Rob Pelinka, and the team's new head coach, Darvin Ham. Reportedly, during this meeting, the main discussion centered around, quote, expressing concerns and hearing out strategies and opinions to assure there wouldn't be
real quick, we already skipped past the part where the championship coach, Frank Vogel, gets fired, even though he did nothing wrong. You know, team was injured, and he gets fired for it. I'll never understand that. And Ham, your time is limited too. So many scapegoats in this whole story. Okay, expressing concerns and hearing out strategies and opinions to assure there wouldn't be a repeat of last season's epic failure. Who's that quote by? Meeting. Okay. Darvin Ham's offensive plans. Pelinka's roster.
Around, quote, expressing concern. Reportedly, during this meeting, the main discussion centered around, quote, expressing concerns and hearing out strategies and opinions to assure there wouldn't be a repeat of last season's epic
so I'm
failure.
not sure who that quote is from.
With LeBron himself trying to drill home the importance of consistent competitiveness and cohesion, noting that last season's team didn't give themselves a chance on many nights. He also cited potentially using the Lakers' 2027 and 2029 first-round picks as leverage to make a trade to help the team win immediately. But this was something that Rob Pelinka was initially against, because he preferred to remain patient. Eventually, the meeting ended very nicely, with both sides agreeing on the direction they wanted to go.
That's always the LeBron strategy, by the way, and Kevin Durant, too, if he gets his way, but mainly LeBron. Sacrifice your future for a win-now team, and then he leaves. And then the organization is screwed. Yeah, it's a bad formula, man. That's why I would never want him on my team. Like, if you can't come to this team and build a championship here, the natural way, get out. Like, I'm not gonna sacrifice the next 10 years just so you can play here for a couple of years and we might win one. No, man.
Later, on August 17, 2022, LeBron signed a 2-year, $97 million extension to remain in Los Angeles. He was hopeful for the future of the team and their chances to compete for another championship. However, in that meeting, the discussions also reached a major talking point: Russell Westbrook. The Lakers' main purpose entering the new season was to rectify the Westbrook trade, and by rectify, I mean get rid of him, at all costs, and find the best team who can give the Lakers some role players in return to fit their roster better. Years later, LeBron and Rob Pelinka both admitted they misjudged the Westbrook deal, and they should have never done it. At the 2023 trade deadline, the Lakers initiated a major 3-team deal that sent Russell.
He's the next scapegoat. Him and Coach Ham.
Russell Westbrook to the Utah Jazz, and in
Utah Jazz.
return received 3 role players to fill in the flaws of their roster. Jarrett Vanderbilt was a long, athletic wing player who moved his feet very well and provided a massive defensive boost at the wings. D'Angelo Russell, while he's not the highest IQ player, he was also a substantially better three-point shooter than Westbrook.
Every other night, yeah. It was another problem with D'Lo, though, because he didn't get to play point guard. Once again, look at Zach. He's the new Russ. Like, everybody who plays with LeBron, who's a point guard, ends up right there or right here. That's your zone. You just stand there and shoot. So I always felt bad for D'Lo too, because he never got to do his job.
Far more effective off the ball to space
and he was
the
an
floor.
Inconsistent shooter. One day he's lights out, the next day he's not.
And then there's Malik Beasley, a three-point specialist, but he didn't get much playing time in Los Angeles. Beyond all of this, it wasn't just the Westbrook trade that revamped their team. Also, at the trade deadline, they acquired Rui Hachimura from the Washington Wizards, and they didn't give up much to get him. Most importantly, the departure of Westbrook coincided with the emergence of a new young player, Austin Reeves.
That was a big one.
After the trade, Reeves saw his touches and playing time skyrocket. In the post-All-Star break, he averaged over 17 points a game on absurd shooting splits.
44 for the three.
Played at a level nobody thought this undrafted second-year kid was capable of doing.
The irony is everyone is freaking out that he got paid in this offseason. The thing is, he was going to get paid 2 years ago if it wasn't for needing that money for LeBron. He even publicly talked about it. He said, "I'm willing to take less money right now for LeBron to stick around." Why he wanted it, I don't know. But that's literally what came out of his mouth. He's willing to take less money. He was already aware he could have gotten double the money he was getting in LA anywhere else. So everyone freaking out about him now 2 years later, after he's like definitely proven. I don't understand that. You really think that money should go to LeBron James again? You guys crazy? You know winning is the goal, right?
Getting rid of Westbrook presented more opportunities to other players, and it made the team much more well-rounded than before. For example, post-All-Star break, the Lakers had a net rating of plus 5.0, a good for 5th in the entire league during that span, and a hopeful sign of better things to come. While they did enter the playoffs as a mere 7th seed of the West, they were the most deceptive 7th seed in history, because this team was much better compared to the start of the season.
I'm going to throw in a hot take. If LeBron James was really as great as he thinks he is, like he was the greatest of all time, him, AD, and Austin Reeves, that big three should have won at least one championship together. They should have. But one guy was holding him back the entire time, and you know who I'm talking about.
Results speak for themselves.
So, for three.
The 2023 Lakers reached the Western Conference Finals, the furthest they've gone since their championship run back in 2020. It culminated with an unfortunate sweep by the Denver Nuggets, but for the first time in years, the outlook of this team was more hopeful than ever. LeBron himself stated how proud he was, how exceptional this entire team was in bouncing back. Even with a successful year, the question still remained how the Lakers can continue to build upon this.
So proud, huh? You're so proud. Fire the coach.
They were still knee-deep into the luxury tax, so there was little room to negotiate. But then they were met with the biggest obstacle at the worst time possible. It was around 2023 when the NBA announced a new second apron luxury tax threshold, where if a team spent above that line, the consequences would be so substantial that even a team like the Lakers were scared of. This announcement came at a bad time, and so many teams were desperately shedding off salary to get below that line. It probably impacted the Celtics and Nuggets the most, who won the championship in 2024 and 2023 respectively, and the new second apron made it difficult for them to keep their roster intact or keep improving it. The same implications happened to the Lakers, because in the year they were supposed to make another big move, it all fell apart. Anyway, in the summer of 2020,
the conference finals, maybe run it back. Austin Reeves is another year older and more mature and more experienced. Maybe run it back and you might win a championship this time. I just don't get why LeBron teams, they always need to make another big move. How about just improve? Don't make a move, improve. It's natural.
Seeing the team make tremendous progress after the Westbrook trade, they could only make smaller moves, so they opted to keep the players who helped them get that far, including the re-signing of Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, and D'Angelo Russell.
At this point, Austin could have been getting like 30 a year. That's the crazy thing. He already could. And at this stage of his life, yeah, he's in the 50 per year range.
All of them took fairly reasonable deals, with additional team-friendly deals in free agency to acquire Jackson Hayes and Taurean Prince, and a very cheap contract for Christian Wood, a guy who averaged 20 and 10 a few years prior. It was a very low-risk, high-reward move. Unfortunately, there was also the Gabe Vincent deal. That was the only deal that was a huge overpay. 3 years, $33 million. He had a great playoff run in Miami, and this entire contract was based on that alone. So unsurprisingly, he wasn't worth that. Also, he was injured the whole season anyway, so he provided nothing of value at all.
$10 million in the bank.
With all these new players and their new core solidified, the Lakers accumulated a total payroll of nearly $182 million. For reference, the second apron tax line was set at $182.8 million. So they strategically reached as high as possible to meet it without crossing over the line. In the minds of Rob Pelinka and the Lakers ownership, they didn't view this team as a championship contender. At least they didn't have enough faith in going beyond the second apron like other teams. That's why they avoided actively spending too much, and did not want to fully commit to investing in this roster.
They already had a big three. They invested enough. It's just role players. I mean, yeah. I think really what I do believe is Rob Pelinka and the ownership hit a point where they're like, they have everything they need to win. If they can't win, they can't win. But we're not going to go over the second apron and pay all those penalties, because even if we stack the deck, they're not going to win. You know, like they have what they need.
However, the 2023-24 season was more hopeful than ever.
Spinning underneath. LeBron! A 360.
That season, LeBron played 71 games. The 24 season was more hopeful than ever.
Spinning.
Pretty much, yeah.
71 games. Anthony Davis played 76 games. Both were the highest number of games they played in their time on the Lakers. Of course, they still had injuries to some other role players, but the fact that this duo remained healthy the whole season, there's no more excuse to point to for the Lakers' failures. They even won the in-season tournament, the first ever NBA Cup. Not like it means anything, but it made the vibes better.
I forget about the in-season tournament every year until it comes up, and I'm like, oh yeah, this thing. It's so early in the season. It's you know what's unfortunate? I wish there was a way to incorporate this style into something that's more meaningful, because the single elimination NBA tournament makes for some of the most exciting basketball games. The only problem is once it's over and somebody wins, like the Lakers win here, it's like you just go, oh yeah, let's continue the regular season now. Like it just means nothing, unfortunately. But if this had if this really mattered, the format's great.
Despite all their efforts on getting new role players to build around LeBron, almost all of them underperformed. Specifically, Christian Wood was horrible. Probably the worst defensive big man in the league who played such low IQ basketball and couldn't stay on the court. Vanderbilt, Gabe Vincent, and Cam Reddish all had such little impact due to injuries. So right when LeBron and AD got healthy, their role players became crippled. Even D'Angelo Russell, who on paper had a productive year if you just look at the box scores. But much like Christian Wood,
he was
dude
a
had such a bad
the entire season. D-Lo,
grasp for the game, with very little awareness of what was going on. There's a reason, if you watch their games that year, LeBron would frequently be exasperated by his dumb mistakes. His actual play was significantly worse than his stats indicated. The team basically fell apart by the end of the year, and once again they reached the playoffs as a lower seed, and once again they got knocked out by the Nuggets, this time in 5 games. This was a series that seemed more competitive than the actual result. The Lakers had a double-digit lead in all 5 games, but their late-game execution was far inferior, as there was a next-level gear the Nuggets could reach that the Lakers simply could not match.
Remember we were all playing a game in the community as far as like who's going to be the scapegoat. We knew it was like D'Lo, and a lot of us, including myself, were like, yeah, coach is fired again. Or like second coach fired. Really, third coach fired since he's been in LA. But Coach Ham was canned. Oh man, those are good times. Those fun times to see this.
Bron and AD popped off.
Murray
hit a
shot.
But there
the funniest thing ever.
was no support to help them by the fourth quarter when they ran out of gas. Still, a first-round loss is not what they expected after a run to the conference finals the year prior, and this led to a summer of questions. Is it still possible to win another title with this
and it was
duo?
also like, hey, media, when is it time to start pointing the finger at LeBron? He's had all these different combos, options, coaches, a big 2, a big 3, and he's not getting it done. So when is it time to start pointing the fingers at him? And, when is it time to start talking about his defense or lack thereof?
Because they were still playing as great as ever, but under these new salary cap regulations, it really diminished the team's abilities to make changes.
Get out of here. You got a big 3. The role players come cheap. That's it. You just got to have the vision and put the right role players in. Those come in at a couple $1 million a pop. So you got your big 3. All you need is a couple of really good role players. I'd say about 4 of them, 2 to be in your starting lineup, 2 really good role players off the bench. And then those guys are leading your bench as far as instructing the other young people as to what's expected. You don't need that much when you have a big 3.
That question was answered pretty quickly though. It turns out Rob Pelinka believed, no, it was not possible anymore to win like this.
Luka Doncic headed to the Lakers. Anthony Davis headed to the Mavericks in a seismic trade that shakes up the reigning Western Conference champion Mavs.
In a trade that will go down in history as the biggest robbery in sports, the Lakers acquired Luka Doncic, the Mavs franchise player and a perennial first-team All-NBA superstar, in exchange for Anthony Davis. Pelinka played Nico Harrison like a fiddle, and the concerns of the Lakers' future became solved in a single trade.
Yeah, someone's gonna have to investigate this dude. Man, this as more time has gone by, like I just don't get it. By the way, they fired Jason Kidd. What the hell? Why the hell did the Mavericks fire Jason Kidd as coach? He did great. He brought the team to the finals, and then you trade his star. You know, and then he actually did a really good job in the first year helping out Cooper Flagg, man, like instructing Cooper Flagg. Great first year for your big box office rookie. What did Jason Kidd do wrong is what I want to know. Did you think you were going to win a championship last year with Kyrie injured the entire year and a rookie Cooper Flagg leading your franchise? You thought you're going to win in 1 year? What is this? Why the hell fire the coach? Jay Kidd was a good one, and I had him pegged wrong. I thought he was going to be a bad coach. Nope. I eat my words on that. I think Jay Kidd's a good coach. Anyways, Nico, you're trash. And are we just gonna brush over the idea that we fired another coach in this situation with the Lakers? So he didn't cover that they fired Vogel, and now they're firing Ham too. I haven't seen one finger pointed at LeBron in this video.
Early, it did. The arrival of Luka Doncic marked the beginning of a new era in Los Angeles, but it also signaled the dwindling end of LeBron's time there as well. As iconic as this duo appeared to be, getting Luka doesn't immediately remove all the flaws the Lakers had before.
They're both ball-dominant players. There's only one ball to go around. Same thing that happened with Westbrook. You can't have LeBron on the team if you want to have a ball-dominant star come in. You can only have one or the other. You got LeBron on your team, he is your ball-dominant star, okay? He is your playmaker. If you want somebody else to be the ball-dominant guy, you gotta move LeBron. You gotta move LeBron. You can't have them in the same lineup, or you could have LeBron come off the bench. He could lead the second unit, but you can't have him and a Luka or him and a Russ on the floor at the same time. It just doesn't work. Just like it wouldn't work if you had Magic Johnson in his prime playing for the Lakers with LeBron. It wouldn't work unless LeBron conceded and said, okay, you're the point guard, which has never happened in his career.
Still had a lot of work to do to fill in the holes in their roster and find competent supporting players to truly become a contender. So when you build around two high-usage, heliocentric superstars like LeBron and Luka, it's mandatory to have a strong supporting cast, a center with great hands to run pick and rolls with, a plethora of long, athletic defenders to cover their deficiencies. Yet the Lakers lacked all of this. While the Luka trade was indeed the greatest heist of the modern era, the team itself did not have enough time to fix the rest of their issues.
Because it was so hype him going to LA, but we all knew like it wasn't really going to begin until LeBron leaves. Like we knew. So now, next season is really going to be the first season of the Luka Doncic era Lakers. I'm interested to see what they can do, man. As a Laker hater, I'm a little worried because him and AR, they work really well together. They really like each other. They get along on the court. They share the ball. You build around these two, and I think they're going to be a legit team. We'll see. You guys think JJ is going to stick around, or you think he's going to get fired? Because I think he's going to stick around, and it might actually work. Because, yeah, without LeBron on the team, he might actually become a good coach. We'll see. He's got the mind for it. He understands basketball very well. Very intelligent with basketball. Only thing I wonder is his hot temper.
So, by the time the 2025 playoffs began, they got folded by the Timberwolves, despite technically being the favorites to advance.
Usual story.
Like, it wasn't even close, and the Wolves relentlessly attacked every weakness they had. For those of you guys who get it
confused all the time for some reason, yeah, look. One was the 3 seed, and one was the 6 seed. That's called an upset.
Like, it wasn't even close, and the Wolves relentlessly attacked every weakness they had. In particular, they had no rim protection and no defense at all. After an underwhelming defeat at the hands of the Wolves, the Lakers were at yet another crossroads. What seemed like a phenomenal trade revealed a broader issue with how the team was currently constructed. They had two superstars whose skills almost identically overlapped each other.
Go back to the first video when I heard that Luka was traded to the Lakers. I think I made it at like 2 a.m. or something and posted it. Now it's not like I go back and watch my videos, but I bet you can go back and watch that video. And I am saying already by then Yeah, I don't think this is going to work, though. You know, it's going to work for the future of LA when LeBron is gone. But with the two of them can't share the ball. It's not going to work. I'm willing to bet I say it in that video. So, like, it takes everybody else a year to catch up, while me and you and everybody watching this, we knew, but the mainstream media didn't know yet. Give me a break.
And combined with the Lakers' usual injuries, LeBron found himself as the third option on the team now, behind Luka and Reeves, who both had a firm grasp of the offense and became the Lakers' new duo.
And they played great while LeBron was out. Like, they were looking like a title contender too.
41 years of age wasn't bad at all for a third option, but he also wasn't worth over $53 million.
That's what needed to be said. Yeah. Would be a good third option, but he's getting paid. Yeah. 53, was it? 53 million or 52?
Bad at all for a third option, but he also wasn't worth over $53 million anymore. The Lakers had reached a point where LeBron was no longer the focal point of their rebuild because they knew they'd pivot to Luka the moment they got him.
Doncic on the drive, step back, puts it
And the question is when you're building around a star, and in this case, the star is Luka. It used to be LeBron. It's not anymore. The star is Luka. You ask the question with the entire lineup, what is this individual doing to build on the vision that we have of this star, Luka? And then you get to LeBron and you go, oh, like this doesn't fit at all. But then you look at how much money you're paying him, $53 million, and you go, yeah, there's no way. That's why I knew 100% the Lakers were not going to re-sign him. There's no way in hell. He's offering a negative in this situation, you know? And you're not going to get rid of Luka. You want Luka to retire there. So at least Austin can play off him. All they need is, a really solid big man. Run to pick and roll, good defensive presence. Basically, they need Anthony Davis, but healthy. He would be the perfect answer for this problem. And keep Marcus Smart.
It doesn't matter what players they got in free agency. There's no chance in hell they can build a contender. There's only so much you can do when the best players you can pay in free agency are DeAndre Ayton and Marcus Smart. There was a dark cloud looming above this entire season because in the back room of the Lakers front office, they knew the LeBron era in Los Angeles was coming to an end, as they found his successor. But there was still time for one last run. With Luka's injury towards the end of the year and Reeves still making a very slow recovery from his own injury, all eyes were on the chosen one once again.
Who chose this one? Himself? Yeah, where KD at? KD, man. Oh, man. Dude, they haven't got rid of him yet, by the way. I can't believe Houston has not traded his ass off yet. I wonder if they're just waiting for any reasonable offers. But I don't know if I was the rest of the league. I don't think I'd be making an offer to get KD. But, yeah. What a trash first round. I remember me and some buddies being pissed off at this. Because we're like, okay, first round of the playoffs, you got no Luka, you got no AR starting, and then we've got no KD. I'm like, what the hell are we doing here? Thankfully, the rest of the playoffs was absolutely phenomenal. But this first round matchup, they had me worried. Like, is everyone just going to be injured this playoffs? Like, not show up?
Victory over the Houston Rockets before getting swept by OKC. When this happened, I don't think anyone considered this might be the final game we'd see LeBron in a Lakers uniform.
Come on, a bunch of us
did. He did give the indication he wanted to retire in Los Angeles, but if you look at the direction the Lakers wanted to go, he wasn't in the picture anymore. They even had a chance to give him an extension before the 2026 season even started, but there were no discussions of one. Nobody in the organization even approached LeBron to entertain the idea he'd remain a Laker. Several weeks before the draft, Bron's agent Rich Paul even said there was an 80% chance LeBron would remain a Laker. But that quickly dwindled as the Lakers gave no inkling of wanting to discuss a new deal. In fact, they didn't even meet with LeBron at all. They just waited until his contract expired and let him leave without any further negotiations.
You've got like what I want to say, not a hoarder, but what are those people who take over people's homes? Y'all know what I'm talking about. that's basically, yeah, that's how to get rid of somebody, is just wait for them to fucking leave, I guess. Like, that's it. The term is over. The lease is up. I think a better example would be more like, you've got a terrible tenant, but their lease is up in a month. Like, well, we could call the police and we can make a big deal out of it and get these guys removed and, like, eliminate the contract and all this legal crap. Or we could just wait another month. And then when it comes time for them to sign a new lease, we offer them nothing. Nope. Already gave it to somebody else. Sorry.
With his contract completed and off the books, they proceeded to use the bulk of their new cap space to sign Walker Kessler. For a long time, JJ Redick desired a legit big man, a large interior presence with great hands to catch passes from Luka and Reeves. With Luka entering the peak of his career playing the best basketball of his whole life, he became the priority, and the team needed to capitalize on this by retooling the roster. Keep in mind, the Lakers never did have a fully healthy season, with LeBron, Luka, and Reeves all playing together. They only appeared in 29 games together in the 2025-26 season. But at this point, injuries are a feature of the Lakers. You can't expect everyone to stay healthy, as LeBron's twilight years have been riddled with them as his body slowly breaks down. Nevertheless, time doesn't wait, and they need to take advantage of the best years of Luka's prime. And so, the LeBron James era of Los Angeles ended in the most nonchalant fashion, the decision to let him walk away in free agency. Anyway, that's all folks. Let me know your thoughts on the LeBron James era in Los Angeles. With 8 seasons, they were able to win 1 championship. Was that better or worse than you expected when LeBron first arrived to LA all those years ago? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. And of course, as always, I'll see you next time.
Great video, by the way. My problem with the whole, like, LeBron restored the Lakers to prominence thing is that maybe he did after 3 years. Maybe. I could entertain that because they won a championship, right? They were at the top. But then the next 5 years, they sunk and sunk and sunk and sunk. So it's not about how high you get them. It's kind of also like, where are you leaving them off? You know what I mean? And you left with, like, taking all their money, and they were in a terrible position. Like, you can't get out. Well, you crawled out of the first round because KD didn't show up. You know what I mean? Like, that's where they are. So I don't know about, like, him restoring them to prominence. Like, I feel like he got them there, but then he stayed so long that now they've had to go through another rebuild. And I think this rebuild's going to be successful without him. But I'll always have some issues with that because, you know, it wasn't a handoff. Like, all right, I built you up here and now I hand it off to the next gen. You know, Michael Jordan restoring the Bulls to prominence in a second three-peat and then retiring, you know? It's like, I'm leaving you at the top, you know? Figure it out. And they didn't, but, you know, whatever. Anyways, what do I think about it? I think it was 3 progressive good years that led to a championship. You actually started seeing some team defense in the early, like, you know, 2019, 2020 era of the Lakers. Whether I'm not going to credit LeBron with that, I'm going to really credit AD with that and Frank Vogel, because that was the identity of the team. You know, go after blocks, loose balls, like everyone was hustling and playing hard. You know, do I respect the bubble championship? No, but do I acknowledge it? Unfortunately, yeah, it's in the record books. I have to, but I don't know, guys. Like I don't consider this a success, but once again, as I always do when it comes to a Lakers scenario, I concede that to you guys, Laker fans, Laker lifers. Was this successful to you? Does this meet your standards? Because as I always say, as a Suns fan, we've never won one. It might meet our standard. It might have been worth it for us. I'm glad it didn't happen, but I would not want to win a championship like that after waiting all these years. But anyways, I concede that to you guys. Laker fans, was this worth it? Was this a success? And how happy are you guys that he's gone? Let me know in the comments. I can't wait to read them. Like the vid on the way out. Subscribe if you want more content like this. And most importantly, is to be water, my friends.